Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Super Breakdown. Today we'll be looking at the GN-003 Gundam Kyrios, piloted by Allelujah Haptism. I'm a big fan of the Kyrios in this game. I like it a lot. You've got your basic shot, which you can fire roughly 10 rounds in. You can kind of mash it out and fire 3-round bursts to be able to fire more. You also have the missiles, left bumper, that are pretty good. The really cool thing about the missiles, though, is if you hold back, you can fire a full salvo of them that are really dangerous at short range. They do quite a bit of damage. Your forward slash is pretty good. Your basic slash is pretty good. As you can see, there was the stun combo that we had there, using the forward slash, which is pretty nice. For follow-up attacks, you have, we'll close some distance here with mobile armor mode, or Wave Rider mode, depending on how you want to call it, that allows you to fire out some missiles, and we'll show some more about that in a little bit. You also have the pop-up, which is pretty nice, puts them into red lock, does not put them into down. You have the side, which is the kick, which is pretty nice, and you have the striker, which is also the missile. You also have this right trigger slash that allows you to use some pretty quick movement, does not cost much boost-wise, and it will chase your opponents down, which is really nice. Especially when they're low, and you just want to finish them off. You can combo that into a lot of other things. Not into a direct combo, but for instance, you pop them up, and then you pull back and fire the missiles, and that's pretty nice. As you can see, in yellow lock or green lock, the missiles do not track at all. But if you use them in red lock, they track a little bit. Not as much as you might like. They're pretty solid. The other big thing that the Kyrios has to offer is after you have used its burst, as long as you still have a burst going, by the way, the burst is awesome. I'll show it off next time. Your right trigger move, the slash, changes to the grab with the GN claw that the Kyrios has, which is really nifty. I like that a lot. While in mobile armor mode or Wave Rider mode, you can also fire the beam. It's pretty nice. It will continue until you run out of boost, and once you're out of boost, then you cannot use it anymore until it recharges. While you're in this mode, though, you can also fire 2 more salvos of the missiles, which is pretty nice. They have some really good tracking on them. The Kyrios is pretty good when it comes to just getting damage dealt and just getting in there. I'm a big fan of the way the Kyrios plays in this game. I like it a lot. As we get into the second round, I'll show you the burst with the claw and how you can use that separately. Which is also why I recommend lightning burst on the Kyrios instead of the blaze burst that we currently have it with. But with all that said, should you use the Kyrios? Well, if you're going to be in short range or mid range, absolutely you should use the Kyrios. The Kyrios is a really, really good, fast, pretty decent damage 300 that is going to have some good options for most situations. Not all, and it doesn't do as much damage as I would like, but for what it can do, it's pretty good. As you can see there, that's one of the many different combos you can perform with right trigger spam. You can make the battlefield a complete nightmare for any of your enemies that are trying to decide where to go in it. You just have so many different things you can mix together to get some good hits in, that it's really tough sometimes to decide what to do. And I feel like I make a lot of mistakes because I make the wrong decision instead of going for the one that would have gotten me the kill. I really like the Kyrios. The Kyrios is really solid. Some of that could be my bias because the Kyrios was my favorite of the 4 original Gundams from 00, but I think the Kyrios in this game was extremely well done. And just gives you, again, those different options that allow you to capitalize on them and really get in there and do some good damage. Now at long range, the Kyrios doesn't really have anything except the missiles. That's it. The missiles are good, but... So now that we're in burst, oh, he stunned us. We have this grab instead, which is really good, and will also resolve in a stun if it does not kill. Really nice, a stagger as it were, but still very, very nice. It also stands to mention that the Kyrios is one of those that has a transformation that is toggleable, as compared to having to manually go into it. You can just press a button and go into the transformation, which does give it some benefit at being able to dodge things like Garobis, because as you can see, you get a pretty good little escape once you activate that, and it comes back pretty quickly on its own as well. We are just toying with him at this point, but I think we have shown off most of what the Kyrios has to offer. Your melee combos also change a little bit. In burst mode, the kick gets a little bit more damage on it. It's a little bit more vicious, I suppose is the right way to put it. But that is probably just a side effect of Allelujah being the pilot for that time and not Allelujah. But until next time, I have been Trey. This has been the Full Spectrum. And remember to always enjoy the full spectrum Kyrios has to offer.